Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yoga. My name's Anna. I don't know where you're tuning in from because I'm aware that there'll probably be quite a lot of you who are doing a summer retreat. Maybe even all of you, or the vast majority. So we're running the summer retreat in conjunction with Buddhist centres from all around the UK and also Ireland. The Dublin Buddhist Centre is involved. So if you're sort of connected to one of those centres, or you're, if you're tuning in from, well, just let us know where you're tuning in from. I know that so far we've had people from all around the place, and also mainland Europe and even Miami. So yeah, that's really exciting.
Hello from Gurdipe from Port Talbot.
Oh, hello, welcome. How many have we got tuning in, Ariane, so far? 31 already. Wow, that's great. Oh, that's good. Hasn't even started yet, and we've got thumbs up. Maybe because it's a positive class. Or well, maybe it will be. I don't know. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, Mark comes quite a lot. So yeah, you might be here for the first time, or you might not be. But do make sure that you've got everything you need to practice. So a mat with enough space around it for you to sort of stretch your legs out and stretch your arms back and things like that. So yeah, I've got quite a small space to practice in at home, and sometimes when I don't set it up properly, then midway through the practice I'm like bumping into things and it's a bit distracting. So yeah, just take the time now before we get going to set up your space.
I think your sister might be here, Alexandra.
Oh, where is she? Did she say where?
From sunny southeast London.
No, I don't think that is her, because my sister's in Brighton at the moment. It's another Alex from southeast London. Hello, welcome. Yeah. Hello, Shled.
Bill from Surrey.
Oh, good. Welcome. Hello.
Villa from Golders Green.
Great. No, it's got lots of people from London today. That's great. So yeah, we're just about to make a start. So. Oh, it's my. Oh, hi, Mum. Yep. Hello, Mum. That was nice. Glad that you can make it. Oh, nice. Okay, let's make a start. So really warm welcome to all of you. Welcome if you're just joining. And yeah, especially if it's your first time coming to one of these yoga classes. So yeah, my name's Anna, and I'm one of the teachers here at the London Buddhist Centre. And yeah, we've got a class today that's, well, it's called Yoga for Positive Emotion. And I'll just say a couple of things about the sort of theme of the class, I suppose. So if you are following the retreat, you might have been listening to some of Maitre Bandhu's talks. I'm thinking particularly about his morning sessions at 8 o'clock on Zoom. So some of you might have been tuning into those, and he's focusing on the meditation on loving kindness or metta. And one of the things that he's been emphasizing is that when you're practicing cultivating positive emotion, it's not like we're trying to force it out of ourselves. Yeah, so it's not like we're trying to sort of fill ourselves up with positivity in a kind of strained way. Yeah, so we're not going to fill ourselves up and then the positivity sort of overflow out into the world. So if we're kind of approaching the practice thinking that if I try to manufacture positivity, then that's going to make me feel positive, and that probably won't work. So that's not what I'm going to teach. That's not how I'd like to approach the practice today. So one of the other things that Maitre Bandhu's been talking about is this idea of receptivity, or the sense of receptivity. So kind of opening yourself up to your experience as it is without judgment. And it's quite an easy, thing to say. I just said it to all of you, but it's quite a difficult thing to do. So I was out early this morning before Mantra Bandhu session. I was going for a run, and I wasn't having a very good one. I wasn't really enjoying it very much, and I was having all of these thoughts of like, oh, I just can't wait for this to be over. Everything hurts. I just want to stop. And then Maitreya Bandhu's teaching sort of came to my mind, and I noticed that I was feeling a lot of aversion and just wanting to push away my experience rather than actually getting curious about it. Yeah. So I just wanted to push through it and get to the end and just be done with it, and grit my teeth and get through it. And once I started to get curious about the sensations in my body, they sort of lost their power a little bit over me, and they became just, I was able to become a bit more curious about them. So yeah, and I think when we're practicing yoga, especially if you're newer to the practice, that kind of applies as well. You might not always be kind of enjoying the posture as you're in it. Yeah. But something about shifting the mindset from, oh, I really, really don't enjoy this. I'm not liking this. Or even, oh, I love this and I can't wait for this to, or I don't want this to end. You can just get curious about how that feels in the body. Yeah. And I'll kind of lead us through that. I'll remind us of that as we start to move through the practice. And one last thing that Maitreya Bandhu has mentioned in his teaching that I'd like to kind of echo is that we don't have to feel like we need to turn positivity on like a tap. Yeah? But what we can do is just bring to mind one thing that is going well in your life right now, or that brings you joy. And it doesn't have to be a very big thing. And that's not to say that your life isn't hard, or my life isn't hard and doesn't have suffering, doesn't have pain, but there is also beauty and positivity and connection in your life as well. And even if it's just a very small thing, like a conversation with a good friend, or I don't know, being moved by a beautiful walk, I'll just, as we sit in meditation in a moment, I'll just be encouraging you to sort of bring that to mind and turn it over, just lightly bringing it to mind, okay? So go ahead and set yourselves up in a seated position and close your eyes. So just preparing to sit in meditation for a short while. Just feeling the weight of the body on the ground. And you might like to take a couple of slightly deeper breaths. And you can just let the mind, as it were, catch up with the body. So you're just coming to sit. And then just start to tune into the heart area. So not physically the heart on the left side of the chest, but just that whole sort of chest area, the front of the chest. Just noticing whether there are any sensations there, however subtle. Or if there are no sensations, what does that feel like? And you can just start to bring to mind something or someone that you are grateful for, that brings joy into your life right now. And it can be something very small, an event, a conversation. Some way that you were moved by something beautiful. And you can just gently turn that over in your mind. And stay connected to the heart area. And if you're feeling very distracted, then just noticing that too. Perhaps noticing how that feels in the body. And not berating yourself if that's the case. Just acknowledge your intention to practice, to make this space for yourself, either in the context of a longer retreat or just on its own. Just acknowledge, recognize the effort that you've made to be here. Good. And then we're going to begin to lengthen out the breath. So nice, smooth, long in-breaths and long, slow out-breaths. Good. And you can keep your eyes closed or you can open them. And you're just going to start to move with the breath. So as you breathe in, circle the arms up over the head. And as you breathe out, just let the arms come down. And if you don't have space, you can reach the arms out in front of you, otherwise out to the sides, breathing in to lift up and breathing out to come down. And yeah, keep going and see if there can be a lightness to the movement, as though the arms were kind of floating. So notice if there's a kind of mechanical or a rushed quality to the movement. Okay. So next time your arms are in the air, you can just pause and then turn your whole body and your arms towards your right. And then let the arms come down into a twist. So left hand comes to your right thigh, right fingertips to the ground behind you, and sit up tall. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just come a little bit more into the twist without too much strain, without strain. Good. And then when you're ready, come through center, float the arms up, and then go the other way. So nice big breath in, lengthen through the spine. And breathe out, turn the chest a little bit more. Just stay for a couple of breaths. Notice if you're rushing or you want to get to the next thing. Good. And then come back through center. Again, lift your arms up. And this time into a side bend. So left hand comes down. I'll mirror you. Left hand to the floor, outside the left hip. Right arm reaches up. And then start to lean towards your left-hand side. That bottom elbow, you can bend it. It might come all the way down to the ground. But if you find that you're rolling off your seat, then you can straighten the elbow again. Good. And then come up through the middle and take it to the other side. So the right hand comes down, the left arm lifts up, and then leans over. So you can look a little bit down, turn the chest a bit down to the ground. And just tune in. Notice how it feels through the side of the body. Good. And then you can come all the way through center. And we're just going to run through one more sort of arm-based, arm and breath movement pattern. Okay. So you'll start with the hands together in front of the chest. If you've practiced with me before, then you might have done this before. So on your in-breath, lift the arms up. Keep the prayer as it is. And then on your out-breath, make fists with your hands and draw the arms down. Good. And then as you breathe in, press the hands away from your body, palms facing away. And then breathe out, bring the hands back together in front of the chest. We'll do this a few times. So lift the arms up and breathe in. Breathe out, pull the arms down. So feel strong, feel the strength in the arms. Breathing in, press the hands away. And breathing out, hands come back to the heart center. So as you breathe in, you could just imagine the word hope. As you breathe out, you could imagine the word strength. Breathing in, pressing away negativity. And breathing out, it's like coming home. So a couple more times. You can take this just with the rhythm of your own breath. You might like to close your eyes as well. So smooth, steady breaths. And just feeling the strength through the arms here. Good, just one more of those. Did I go wrong? Okay, let's do one more full round. Good, so pressing away negativity and then hands back into center. Lovely. Okay, let's come over to hands and knees now. So pad up the knees if you need to. Ariane, we're going to do cat-cow, so you can do it seated if you like. So I'm practicing with Ariane, who's got a really bad knee. She fell over yesterday, so. Okay. No, it's not funny. I wasn't laughing at you. So let's take cat-cow from here. So as you breathe in, lift the chest, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. And then breathe out. Really round the back, press the floor away. So again, smooth breaths here. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let the head go. You can close the eyes. And if you'd like to take any other kind of wriggling movements, you can sort of roll the hips from side to side or press a bit forwards and back, just using hands and knees as a starting point, then yeah, feel free to do that. And tuning into the direct experience of being in your body. Yeah, so if you're more seasoned, if you're a more seasoned practitioner, then things like cat-cow are very well, we do a lot of them, so it can be easy to just check out. Yeah, so you're not really present to what's going on. So just feeling into it. Good, and then come back into a neutral spine. Keep your lower body just as it is, but take your hands a giant step forward. So pad the hands forwards. Spread the fingers out wide. And then start to lower your forehead down to or towards the ground. Yeah, so sliding the hands forwards, pressing the hands into the ground, but lifting through your armpits. And tuning into the sensations around the shoulders, around the back. Good. And then when you're ready, just slide the hands back. And let's come into child's pose for a moment and take a side bend from there. So take your hips back to or towards your heels. And take the forehead down to or towards the floor. So bring the ground up closer to you if you need to. Use cushions. And then inch your hands forwards and start to walk them over towards the top right-hand corner of your mat. And then especially reach through that left arm. And take the forehead down to between your arms, between your shoulders. So ground down through the left hip, but reach forwards through the left fingertips. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Good. And then come all the way through center and over to the other side. So walk your hands. They might come off your mat or towards the long edge. Reach even further with your right hand and take your forehead to the ground. So it's a side bend. Take a big breath into your right shoulder, the back of the right shoulder. Good, and then come all the way through center. And then tuck your toes under. We'll come into a downward facing dog from here. So spread the fingers wide. And then lift the knees up. Lift your hips up. And making your body into a kind of inverted V shape here. So you can pedal out the feet if you like. You can bend into one knee, then the other. You can let the hips sway. You might just want to shake the head out. No. And again, if you're more familiar with yoga, this is like, yoga 101. So there's a tendency to just check out, but see if you can feel what's here for you right now. Not what the pose felt like yesterday or last week or last year. And if you're newer to it, then just getting curious about what you can feel. Okay. So let's come into a lunge position. So come back to your knees and step the right foot through to between your hands. You can pad the left knee up on something like a block or a cushion, and then lift your hips up. So we're going to take quite a sort of short lunge. So just draw the hips back until your back thigh is vertical. And then really, really engage that back leg, the back of your back leg, and lift your arms up. Good, so we're thinking of getting long through the sides of the waist. And then, so your right foot is forwards. Just let your right hand drop down and start to lean over to your right with your left arm. And you can look a little bit down to the floor. So again, big opener for the side of the body. Can you stay with the sensations for a couple more breaths? Good, and then lean forwards. Let the hips come forwards and take your left hand to the ground inside the front foot, so inside the right foot. Good, and then into an open twist. So press the left hand down and start to turn to your right and reach the right arm up. Good, and then just a couple of times, we're going to make big circles. So start to reach the right hand back and then start to sweep it forwards, up, over and around. So just taking a few of those. So make sure that your front foot is far forward enough that your heel is down on the ground. Knee stacked over the ankle. Nice. Good. And then two hands come down. Back knee lifts up. Draw back into downward facing dog from there. And just shake the hips side to side. And remember, if you need to rest, if you're newer to yoga, or if you're just tired, then yeah, just do whatever you need to do to stay connected to your breath and to feel good in your body. Good. And then let's take that little lunge on the second side. So take a step forwards with the left foot. You can help it along its way if you need to. Right knee comes down, lift the chest. And then hands on your hips, just pull them slightly back and slightly up. Engage your back leg a lot, and then lift your arms up. Reach up through the sides of your body. Good. And then just let your left arm drop down and start to lean over towards the left. You can look down towards your left fingertips. Keep pressing into the foot, the front foot. And just notice the physical sensations. And just notice if there's any stories there about when we're going to come out of the posture. I don't like this, or whatever it is. Good. And then right hand to the ground. You might need to slide the front foot a little bit further forwards. Press the right hand down. Turn the chest. Left arm lifts up. Good. And then again, big circle. So sweep the arm back. And then forwards, up, over and around. And you can follow the fingertips with your gaze if that feels okay on your neck. Lovely. Okay. And then left hand comes down to the ground. Let's draw back into downward facing dog for a moment. And then let's come into some standing postures from there. So step the right foot through to between your hands and spin a little bit on the back foot. So turn the back foot slightly out and lift up the chest. So we're coming into warrior one. The back leg is nice and straight. The front knee is bent. The arms are lifting up. So just noticing the shape that you're making. Notice the feeling of being in the posture. So every posture has its own very particular flavor for you. I'm just noticing what that is for you today. Good. So keep the legs as they are, but just bend the elbows out to the sides and draw them a little bit back. So you're lifting through the chest. If you're feeling this in your lower back, then just ease off. Yeah, draw the front ribs slightly in. A few more breaths. Good. Just check in with your neck, make sure there's no tension there. Lovely. And then release your hands down and straighten the front leg. So you've got two straight legs. Hop the back foot a little bit in. Keep your hands on your hips. We're going to come into a straight leg forward bend from here. So start to lean the body forwards. So you're tilting the pelvis over the top of that front thigh. Yeah, and then you can either stay here or take your hands down onto your front shin, maybe fingertips to the floor or onto blocks. And try to keep lengthening out through the sides of the body. Yeah, notice your front leg. There's probably a lot of sensations there. Can you notice your back leg as well? Can you press the back foot down? Notice how much effort you're making. Try to soften the face a little bit. Get curious about the sensations in the legs. Nice. And then soften the front knee. Take the hands down to either side of the front foot and ease your way back into downward facing dog from there. Well done. Okay, so let's take the second side. So left foot steps forwards and a bit out to the left side. So it's like the feet are on train tracks. Right heel roots down, lift your chest, and then lift your arms up. So hips and shoulders more or less pointing towards the short edge of your mat. Reach up through the ring fingers. Press the feet down. And just notice the shape that you're making. So for me, this posture, it feels like a very kind of open, kind of fearless posture. Open-hearted. Good. And then stay with the lower body, but just bend the elbows out to the sides. Draw the elbows slightly back. Lift the chest. Keep the neck soft, face soft. Lovely. And then take the hands onto your hips. Straighten the front leg. And then hop the back foot a little bit in. So with the hands on the hips, start to hinge forwards. Keep the sides of the waist long. And then either stay with the hands on the hips or hands onto the front shin. Yeah, so if you feel like you've completely locked out your front knee, then just soften it a tiny bit. So take a little micro bend. Yeah. Very, very nice. So we'll be here for a few breaths. Again, just noticing if all you can feel, if all you can focus on is your front leg, what does the back leg feel like? You press the toes and the heel of the back foot down into the ground. Nice, well done everyone. Ease off. Hands either side of the front foot. Step back, come to downward facing dog from there. Good, come on to the tips of the toes. And then a couple of times, just let the hips shake from side to side. Remember, if you need to rest, you can rest. You can come to hands and knees. Good, and then let's just take a couple more standing postures. So, left foot steps through to between your hands. Turn and ground your back foot. And come into warrior two from there. So this time, your hips and your shoulders face the long edge of your mat. Your arms reach out wide. Drop the front thigh. And then look at your back leg. Take your left hand and rest it on the left thigh. And then turn your front palm up and reach it up towards the ceiling or towards the sky if you're outside. So reverse warrior. And you try to breathe into your right ribs. And that back hand is just lightly resting on the back thigh. That's it. Lovely. And then come up, two straight legs. Shuffle the back toes a little bit in and come into triangle pose. So reach the right hand forwards. And then the right hand comes down to the right shin. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. And then for today, keeping with the side bends, reach the left arm over your head. So it's in line with your left ear. And you might find that the right hand slides a little bit further down your leg. And then you can look down towards your front foot and turn the chest ever so slightly down towards the mat. And just notice if you stopped breathing there. And take a couple of long, smooth breaths. Good, and then press into both of your feet. Slowly come all the way up. Well done. And change sides, so turn your right toes in, turn the left toes out. We'll start with triangle pose. Mirrored. So reach the left arm forwards and then tip it down. Left hand onto your left shin. Right arm lifts up And then start to dive the right arm towards the front edge of your mat, or in the direction of your left toes. And notice how your bottom hand might slide a little bit further down the leg. That's fine. So you can let the top ribs round a little bit. That's fine. And then ever so slightly turn the chest down towards the ground. And lean into the side bend. Good. Just take a breath. And then press into the feet and slowly come all the way up. Slide the legs a little bit further apart. Bend the front knee. Good. And then reach the arms out wide. Good. For warrior two. And then look at that back leg. So the right hand just rests very lightly on the back leg. And the left arm flips and scoops up. So there can be a tendency here to sort of cheat your way out of the posture and straighten your front leg. So keep dropping the front thigh. And keep lifting the other arm up. Good. Notice if you stopped breathing. Lovely, everyone. Okay, and then straighten up. Come all the way up. And just step your feet together. Okay, stand in mountain pose for a moment. So it's the first time we've done mountain pose today. So look down at your feet, spread the toes. It's another thing Maitri Bandhi mentioned that he found really difficult when he started yoga. So see if you can create a bit of space between your toes. Press the balls of the feet down into the ground. And then that sense of lengthening up through the body, getting a little bit taller, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Okay. And then we're going to come into tree pose with an optional extra. So shift your weight into your right foot and bring your left knee into your chest for a moment. Look or fix your gaze on a point in front of you that's not moving. Good. And then take your left knee out to the side and come into your version of tree pose. So either foot to your into your calf or up towards the inner thigh. Okay, so hands can come together in front of the chest. Good. You might lift the arms up if you feel steady. And if you're wobbly, that's fine. It means you've got reflexes, and they're very good. Good. If you want to take the side bend, drop your left hand, palm faces forwards, and then start to lean over towards your left, so towards the bent knee. Ooh. So kind of like a ballerina. And then when you're ready, you can come all the way up with control if you can. Knee comes in towards your chest. And then 2 arms, 2 feet down. And just pause. Just register, just notice your 2 sides. You can shake out the right leg if you need to. And then let's change sides. So really connect in with that sense of rooting down through the left foot. So spreading the toes out. Right knee comes into chest. Good. Out to the side. And then foot to the inside of the leg, somewhere. And try to avoid your knee if you can. Hands come together in front of the chest. Good. And then lift your arms up. So keep lengthening up through both sides of the waist. Good. Stay here. Or right hand comes down. Left arm reaches over. Keep your balance. Keep pressing the foot into the thigh. That will really help. And press the thigh back into the foot. Good. And then 2 arms up. Knee into chest. everything comes all the way down. Well done. Good. And then let's come down to seated just for a moment. Just shake the legs out. Just swing the legs a little bit from side to side. Good. You might just want to give the legs a little bit of a rub. So you can rub the calves and then up to the thighs. You can point and flex the feet. Good. And then make your way down to your backs. We'll do a little bit of back bending, little cool down, and then we're there. So, as you come down to your back, it's the first time we've been here today, so just noticing how it feels to lie down. You can close your eyes and let the ground take your weight. And as we move through the next posture, I really encourage you to keep some awareness in the center of the chest, in the heart center. So let's come into bridge pose from here. So press the feet down, hips, heels kind of in line with the hips, under the knees. And if you want to, you can tuck your shoulders underneath you and thread the fingers together. So the center of the chest is physically quite sort of prominent in this posture. Just breathing into it. Okay, just take a couple more breaths there. Notice the backs of the legs. Good, and then nice and easy, untuck the shoulders and very slowly roll down. Very, very slowly roll down. Good, and just swing the legs from side to side. Good, and then bring the right knee into your chest. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee. So you might like to stay just here in a kind of figure 4 stretch. So you can let the arms go and just move a little bit from side to side or stay still. So the ankle hooks over your left thigh, but you're drawing the right knee out towards the side. If you want a little bit more texture, then you can lift your left knee, thread the hands around the left thigh. So you're coming into a kind of, it's the reverse pigeon posture. And again, you can close your eyes here. Just tuning into the sensations around your hips, around your right hip. Not trying to make sensations happen. And also not necessarily pushing them away. Of course, if there's kind of sharp pain or knee pain, then ease off. Otherwise, just noticing, just allowing for sensations to arise. Good, and then let go, 2 feet down. And change sides. So left elbow hooks over, not elbow, left ankle hooks over your right knee. And if this is enough sensation for you, then you can stay here. Otherwise, you can draw the right knee in, thread the hands around the right thigh, and just rock a little bit from side to side. So if you're feeling like the neck has to strain, your shoulders have to strain for you to be here, then You might just want to let go of the hands and just have the feet on the floor, have your left foot on the floor. You want to be able to soften the faces, soften the neck and the shoulders. Lovely, and then let go of the posture. This time, hug the knees into the chest. Good, and then to close, let's just make ourselves into the smallest little ball that we can. So now you can lift the head up, tuck the chin in, and make everything really tight. So give yourself a big squeeze. You can make a face. Take a big breath in. Make everything really tight. And then as you breathe out, let everything soften down onto the mat. You can sigh out. Slide the legs out long. Reach the arms out to the sides. And you might just want to turn the head a couple of times, side to side. And let a sigh or two out. And then you can start to come into stillness. And being receptive to what's in your heart. Not trying to make anything happen, not trying to manufacture positivity.